'cause it's a perfect day. Nothing's gonna ever change on this perfect day. Nothing can go wrong on a perfect day. Such a good movie.
Okay.
All right, now to watch some real television.
No. Choose something else.
Choose something else. I'm pretty sure there's something on FX. It does have the movies. Battleship.
Sure, yes. Okay.
Alright.
Let's get this rolling. Everything's open.
Not everything.
Hootsuite.
Not everything is open. Oh, wait, did you put, what?
What?
That thing open?
What thing? Audacity
Audacity.
and OBS are both open for you.
Oh, Audacity is open. Okay.
I opened it up for you, so we're all good, except you need to change built-in microphone to not built-in microphone.
Is this not a built-in microphone?
No, you need to change it to USB something or other.
Microphone?
Yeah.
Let's see. Start microphone. Yep, that's it.
That'll do it.
Alright, send now so that way everyone knows we are live.
Alright.
So let us begin with our intro. Go.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. I've been streaming.
Okay. You've been streaming.
I've been streaming.
I've been streaming. Hello! Welcome to the Media Boat Podcast. It is September 27th?
That is correct.
September 27th, 2017. This is episode 91 of the Media Boat Podcast. We are officially open for business. Somehow.
It's great.
And business is booming. Yes, the Media Boat Podcast is your source for all the news and reviews and news, again, about the media, including film, television, video games, and music, not necessarily in that order. My name is Matt.
I'm Mike. He's Matt. This is Media Boat Podcast.
Yes,
and we always start off with talking about how our week was.
No, sometimes we do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had a pretty good week. It's pretty solid so far. It's hump day.
Hump day.
We're almost to Friday. It's payday Friday for me.
Payday
which is
Friday.
Exciting.
Yes.
By
the way, rent is due for everyone at the
first.
The first.
I don't know why we need to announce that. It's always the first.
Is it always the first?
I'm pretty sure. For most people.
Alright.
But yeah, the Media Boat Podcast usually starts with the weekend box office. Your biggest movies in the country. And this week, we called it again.
Yep, because it doesn't get any bigger than a sequel to a movie everyone loved.
Well, I mean, it does get bigger than this, but...
Well, yes, to a sequel that
this was actually a pretty
loved.
moderate opening.
Well, yeah.
For this thing.
Well, it did better than the original opening.
Yeah.
But all things considered, yes. We're talking about Kingsman 2, The Golden Circle.
Technically, there's no 2 in the title.
No,
it is
there's
the sequel to Kingsman, The Secret Service.
Yes.
But it is just Kingsman, The Golden Circle.
Yeah,
colon. Yes,
yep.
It's all about colons.
Yep.
So yeah, that was the new movie this week, and it debuted at number 1.
Yep, number 1.
With $39 million.
Yep. $104 million budget. But good news is that they take in worldwide, which already made across the 100 worldwide.
Yeah, so it's gonna get there. Just a matter of time here.
Yep.
It's just not gonna do it right away, which is understandable for the end of summer. Kind of, this is your first weekend of fall premiere here, and
right. And
I was expecting.
Yeah, I still say this thing should have opened at the beginning of September.
You're right. I think that there was a dead weekend there that they could have owned.
Yep.
And made some more money over the end, took advantage of the end of summer crowds. But no, that's what they didn't. What they didn't. It's not what they wanted to do.
The M studio messed up there.
But yeah, so you've seen this movie.
Yes. So
when we spoke about this off the podcast, you said you were feeling conflicted about this thing.
Yeah, so I have some thoughts about the Kingsman here.
Apparently not enough to write on the website, mediaboatpodcast.com.
Well, yes, because...
Not to blow you up here.
Not to blow me up, but yes, I will get that review out there, or get my thoughts out there.
No rush.
Yes. But I can give you my thoughts now. The quadruple thing that's going through my head about this is that I liked it. It's a good movie. Gives me everything that I want.
Yeah.
Everything that I liked about the first movie.
You are a big fan of the first movie. I want to note real fast.
Yes, I'm a big fan of this movie. It has one of my current favorite directors out there, Matthew Vaughn, who I continually promote on this podcast.
Yeah.
Like, obsessively, almost.
Matthew Vaughn.
Yeah. Yeah, to the point where everything that I saw in this movie, I liked, I enjoyed, it was great. That being said, I had this exact same review and exact same thoughts when I saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
That is true.
The sequel to the other movie that I liked, Guardians of the Galaxy. And I had the exact same issue. I'm having the exact same issue with it.
Perhaps your expectations too high for these blockbusters?
Maybe.
Okay. Just making sure you know.
They may be a little bit too high.
I think they maybe are a little too high.
Because they give me exactly what I want, but I'm always expecting more. I'm always expecting to be,
you want that feeling back where it was a brand new thing.
Right.
You want that freshness back. And you're just never going to get that from a sequel unless they completely revamp the format.
Right. And that's my problem that I have as a viewer and as a critique.
A critic?
Critique, yes.
Sure, a French critic.
Yes. In that I always want them to do better, but never satisfied when they give me exactly what I want.
Well, then I don't know what to tell you. But let's stop talking about big picture stuff here. The movie.
The movie, on the big picture.
Was it entertaining?
Yes, it was very entertaining. It has a lot of the spies, a lot of stuff that I like, a lot of throwbacks to the first Kingsman, which was really good to see, really well put, really well designed,
good,
well written, well directed. It does do one thing really great, and that is the final fight scene, which is done in a single take, or at least made to look like a single take. Much like in the first movie, they had the whole church scene, which was made to look like a single take.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have another big fight scene like that at the very end, and it is well done.
Good.
And just continues to show how Matthew Vaughn can handle action in a really well put manner.
He's good at it.
He's good at it.
He's real good.
Just to put lightly.
Sure. So yeah, the stars all return, including a few others.
Yes, and then therein lies, I guess, our predicament, you could say.
Okay.
As the Kingsman only exists, or at least the movies only exist when there's a big global expense, you could say.
Okay.
So something of a global catastrophe happened.
Right. There has to be an impetus for them to show up.
Right.
Because otherwise they are secret.
Right. And they are kept secret, supposed to be hidden.
Only when they're needed.
Right.
Yeah.
And therein lies the problem of this movie, where the villain is a drug lord, or drug kingpin, you could say, but does so in a way to where they're gonna kill they basically hold the world hostage.
Okay.
And like literally hold the world hostage because they confront the president of the United States and saying, "Hey, meet my demands, or I'm going to kill everyone who use my drugs," which is weird because, as the movie clearly states, it solves the war on drugs. So at one point I'm like,
oh man,
that makes sense. At the point I'm like, but you're killing everyone. Yeah. But you're killing everyone who does drugs. So that's a good thing, right? But it's a bad thing.
Yeah, that's... No.
And that right there is my problem with the movie.
Uh-huh.
It walks a fine line between of this villain. Instead of just... Yeah. Because in the first movie, it walked that fine line by saying, hey, we have a population control, so we're going to basically eliminate the population.
Yeah, but that's a little bit more clear cut, because most people would be like, yeah, nah, I see where you're going, but no.
Right.
No. This one is like, well, that's a convincing argument, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that there's gotta be a way without risking human lives. How about that?
That's why I've been having trouble writing my review.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
That's where I keep hitting the wall of the villain is clear-cut a villain, but they're right.
I think somebody at this point in the media, like in our society and media, how media has affected our society, could write a very, very interesting piece about the evolving nature of the villain in media.
Yeah.
It's like how we went from very black and white morality to this current modern blurred line where you have these anti-heroes on the most popular TV shows, and you have these villains that are supposed to be believable to the point where, oh, I guess
yes, I know. Yeah.
I didn't know that was in here.
But yeah, I know what you're trying to say, because with the villain here, it's not just straight, oh, they're cocaine users or heroin users, but they're medical marijuana users or opioids.
It's very common now to have some sort of to have your villain be convincing in a really realistic way, which is oh, I could 100% see why they would think that they're in the right here.
Which was easy to see in the first movie.
Yeah.
This one, not so much.
So yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, that sounds at least interesting for an audience. I think that'd be.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, otherwise it sounds like it does what you want it to do.
Yeah, it has all the fight scenes, the gratuitous violence, the cool gadgets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's everything that you want from a Kingsman movie, from a Matthew Vaughn movie. And then the weird villain.
Okay. Okay,
so yeah, to put it on our scale.
Our media vote scale is exactly
go see it. Media vote scale says go see it.
This is a see it.
Yes, this is a see it.
Alright, cool.
Yep. Speaking of movies we should see.
What else is on this box office top 5?
It is number 2. With 30 million.
It is hanging in there.
50% drop from last week, and $266 million domestically. That thing made bank.
Yeah.
$35 million to make. That thing made bank. And then that brings us to our number 3 movie, and the movie that we promoted as the number 1 family movie for all the commercials out there.
I mean, yeah, by default.
Yes. The Lego Ninjago movie.
And I want to take a bow here because I was correct this time.
For what?
That it underperformed.
Oh, yeah.
But, hey, I'm not here to gloat.
Yes. But, I am here to give you my thoughts on it.
Yes, you saw Lego Ninja... Sorry, what should have been called the Lego Ninja movie.
Yes.
And what'd you think?
As the title on MediaBoatPodcast.com clearly says, Ninja Go see something else.
You almost botched your own joke.
Yeah.
Right there.
I did.
So yeah, you didn't really care for it too much.
I didn't really care for it too much. This is exactly what happens when you try and rush something through.
Yeah.
That doesn't have a good platform on it, and then you fill it with a bunch of B-list actors. And I say that in the nicest way possible, because all the actors that they did get, I love. I like Dave Franco. I like Abby Jacobson. I like Kumail.
Sure.
Nanjiani. But I like Jackie Chan. But in terms of a leading cast, doesn't really work that much. Especially when for the majority of the movie, you have 7 of the characters on screen at a given time, as they go on this journey and this quest.
Yeah.
They're just there, 7 of them constantly. So you have to fill all that dialogue with either banter or plot progression, and not necessarily character development.
Yeah, that's
which
the
is
tricky part.
Yeah, which is the tricky part because it's definitely a kids movie, but at the same time, it needs to be a good movie.
Yeah,
it needs to be entertaining.
And I feel like the first one, the Lego movie, I think was the best so far at that balancing act.
Right, because that was written by good writers who understood how to make a good story, and they got an A+ casting.
Yeah, it was story first in that thing, and you could tell through the whole thing. It just also happened to be kid friendly, and it also happened to be a device to sell their toy. You know, it's like it worked in every way because they did story first. Mm-hmm. So this sounds like they were like, hey, let's make another one of these, and so that came first as opposed to where's the story here.
Right. This one felt more like, hey, we have this property that kids know. Yeah. Let's make a movie out of it.
And to be honest, I felt that's the direction this was going on, even with Batman. About watching Batman, the Lego Batman movie, like as much as I liked a lot of the bits in that thing, I could still feel that this thing was moving away from them somehow. That they were losing, like, what made that first movie so good? At least to me.
Right, because they were trying to balance an actual Batman movie in that as well.
Yeah, that turned out to be more of a Batman movie than it was a Lego movie.
Right. And right.
And is this more of a Ninjago movie than it is a Lego movie?
This is more of a half Batman, half the Lego movie smashed together to make this thing.
Yeah, I read your review.
Yeah, and
I read your thoughts.
Yes, you read my thoughts, and a lot of the same plot lines that they cover in both of those movies are recurring themes in this movie. As if there's only one story Lego wants to tell. Or
that they've gotten comfortable in the stories that they have told, and feel like they can rediscover that.
Right.
In this
and that being said, the early synopsis that I have read for Lego 2, or the Lego Movie 2, revolves not on none of those things, and rather on gender equality when it comes to creating and building and being innovative.
That makes sense, considering the end of that first movie.
Yeah.
So, do you think that this was the B team then?
Oh, this is definitely the B team.
It sounds like that the actual crew you'd want are working on the proper sequel.
Right. And this is the B team, the people who worked on... So it's as if people who worked on the Lego movie were split into two teams. They took all the good people and put them on Lego Batman, and everyone else they said, here, we're going to give you Ninjago, see what you can do with it.
Or something like that. Yeah. We're obviously not going to assume what's going on in this Warner Brothers Animation Studios. But it sounds like something was different for this one. This project was different. It was maybe a lower budget project.
It definitely felt different watching it. It definitely in the writing you can tell. Definitely in the acting you can tell too. How they try and balance everyone.
And like I said, I think it's because they knew it wasn't going to be as big of a deal. It's based on a franchise that most people aren't aware of.
Yeah.
And I think that they knew that going in to a certain extent. I think the marketing for this was a little wider than it should have been, but other than that, I think it's exactly probably what they expected for this thing.
Yeah.
So not great.
No.
What else do we have?
We have wrapping up then on the box office, we have American Assassin at number 4 with 6 million, and Mother at number 5 with 3 million.
Yeah, sticking around, I guess. Word of mouth. Not negative or positive, it does something for your movie.
Right, and also it came out last week, so it's still there.
Still relevant.
Yeah.
People are talking about that thing.
Yeah.
Not positively, but people are talking about that thing.
That being said, the other movie I did watch this past weekend was The Hitman's Bodyguard.
Yeah, you saw the hit of the summer.
Yeah.
How was The Hitman's Bodyguard?
Like I said, definitely wait for streaming for this thing.
Okay.
You should watch it, though. It's a good movie.
Oh, wait, you didn't give a scale for Lego.
Oh, no. Lego is definitely a hard pass.
Hard pass, okay.
Hard pass.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's just call it hard pass.
Just a hard pass.
Hard pass. But you, okay, streaming for Hitman's Bodyguard. Not super important to see now?
No, not important to see now. But if you're having to watch it with your buddies and you can't find anything to watch, go watch it with... It's a good watch.
It's harmless.
It's a harmless, fun action thriller.
Fair enough.
Movie.
Cool.
Alright, that brings us to movie news.
All right, moving to. Oh wait, no, new releases for next week.
Oh yeah, new releases.
You got ahead of yourself this time,
Yes.
not me.
We have Tom Cruise in American Made. We have Ellen Page in Flatliners.
Yes, remake.
Yes, not to be confused with the Dirk Bentley song.
I don't think anyone was confusing it with the Dierks Bentley song.
And we also have Till Death Do Us Part. That is a Taye Diggs
Taye Diggs.
thriller of the movie.
Everybody loves Taye Diggs.
Yep.
That's
so, will Kingsman hold over, or will Tom Cruise make number one?
They're marketing that Tom Cruise thing a lot.
Yeah, I think that'll
this
is Tom Cruise in action. Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah, it'll probably do decent enough to.
Kingsman's gonna put about 20.
Right, so it'll do 25.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be a narrow one, but it'll win.
Yeah, I'm looking at close, but yeah, I think Tom Cruise is the bigger name of the two.
Yep, I agree.
Yep, even though Kingsman should get good word of mouth, expect Tom Cruise to be Tom Cruise and do Tom Cruise things.
I also expect, since we're going with predictions here, I expect it to stick around in the top 5. In fact, I expect it to stick around in the top 5 way longer than anybody thinks that it will, because October's
coming. And horror movies.
I think that it will have really impressive legs.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see, because there's several horror movies.
I know, but not until like the end of the month.
Right.
So,
okay, so that brings us to Universal then.
Yeah.
So, Universal has acquired a new movie.
Okay.
This is a buddy cop comedy by Ruben Fleischer, who directed Zombieland.
Okay.
Produced by David Bernard and written by Murray Miller, who wrote the comedy Tour de Pharmacy.
Oh, all right.
And he also wrote 7 Days in Hell.
Okay, so he's worked with Andy Samberg.
Yes.
And his crew.
Yep.
Okay.
And this one has attached to it American Grit host and star John Cena.
Burr, 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 burr.
And recent indie summer king, you could say, Kumail Nanjiani.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're both attached to star. Fletcher is attached to Director Miller, will be writing the script. And it's just so far described as a buddy cop comedy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll watch Kumail be a funny cop.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. No word on what the script is. It's just a pitch was made. They liked it. So they have stars attached. That's going to be written.
Cool.
Expect this thing to be cheaply made and come out next year.
All right. Sounds good.
Yep.
Next. What's this?
That is Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Oh.
So, having been dropped by the Star Wars people,
Yeah.
they've signed on to develop and direct a new movie.
Okay. What do they got?
It is called Artemis.
Okay.
It is.
Does this have anything to do with Artemis Fowl?
No.
Okay. Good.
This is the novel.
I learned so much last week.
This is the novel by Andy Weir.
Okay.
Name sound familiar?
No.
He wrote The Martian.
Sure. Okay.
Last year's surprise hit,
Right.
starring Matt Damon eating poop potatoes.
Everybody's favorite comedy.
Yes.
And no, that wasn't last year. That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Time has flown.
Yes. Yeah, so they will be directing this thing for Fox and New Regency. The book will be published this November 17th.
Oh, it's not even out yet.
Book's not even out yet, but it's already got a movie deal.
Sure. Sounds about right.
Yep, it'll be published by Crown. And then they will get a writer on it, moving on that thing for a script. Phil Lord and Chris Miller are already writing the animated Spider-Man movie for Sony. And they've been offered numerous projects, including The Flash for DC. But I think they're going to go with this Artemis project.
Okay.
As it is being described as an adrenaline-charged crime caper that features smart, detailed world building based on real science. It centers around Jasmine Bashara, aka Jazz.
Jazz.
Yep. Who is Jazz, by the way?
Okay.
Oh, she's just another too smart, directionless 20-something, chafing at the constraints of her small town, dreaming of a better life.
I hate when I'm chafing at the constraints.
I just hate when I chafe in general.
I mean, yeah, it's just unpleasant.
Here's the twist, though.
Oh, wait, there's a twist?
Yeah, this small town is located on the moon.
On the moon!
Yep, and is the first and only city of its kind. Her job as a porter barely covers the rent, and her budding career as a smuggler isn't exactly setting her up to be the kingpin. So, when the chance at a life-changing score drops in her lap, Jazz can't say no, and she finds herself in the middle of a conspiracy for control of Artemis itself. Artemis being the titular city on the moon.
Okay. What do you think about this?
I like the lore to Chris Miller.
Uh-huh.
The Martian was good, but then again, that was directed by Ridley Scott, who knows how to direct a good movie.
Uh-huh.
Where
are you going with this? Do you think that's because it's not a straight comedy that they aren't the people to take this project?
Yes.
Because, I mean, I kind of agree with you, but maybe this is their pivot.
Right.
Maybe this is their chance at, like,
if
no,
they're able
we don't
to
just do ridiculous comedy.
If they're able to both write and direct this thing, then maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, for me, I asked you what you thought about this because, for me, this seems like so out of my wheelhouse that I was like, okay, this is not for me.
As soon as I mentioned sci-fi on the moon.
Well, then you started explaining what this thing was. I was like, all right, I don't know.
What part lost you? The 20-something or the moon?
As soon as you said the moon, yeah, I kind of checked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds okay.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, like I said, book will be coming out this November.
Yeah.
Assuming it becomes a bestseller, expect the thing to be fast-tracked.
Probably. And
probably hit 2019, assuming because moon and special effects.
Yeah.
And script and production. So, 2019.
Okay.
March of 2019, I'm calling it right here.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
Next.
Mr.
Morgan Spurlock.
Yes.
His mouth is full of fries.
Yes.
I saw that documentary.
Yes. And then maybe we want to eat McDonald's.
It actually, I remember my takeaway from that thing, my takeout, if you will.
Yes.
My takeaway from that thing was like, I thought it was going to be way harsher on McDonald's, and actually wasn't that harsh. Like, I remember kind of the lesson at the end was like, nah, I just don't eat it for every meal every day. That's the thing that you shouldn't do. If every once in a while, it's still fine. But also, supersizing is pretty messed up. And sure enough, McDonald's eliminated supersizing right afterwards. And yeah. So I think I was actually kind of shocked that it wasn't like,
so
no, McDonald's is evil. It was less that, and it was more like, don't be dumb.
Right, don't be dumb. Don't eat it for every meal.
Don't eat crap food every meal. You know that this is crap food. We're not pretending it's not. But also, it's not going to kill you once at every while.
Right. Also, don't do what he did and just eat it for every meal for 30 days.
Well, duh. Of course not.
That's dumb.
Because if you eat anything for every meal for 30 days, you'll probably die.
Yeah. Which is dumb.
So, yeah. Variety is the spice of life, kids. But yeah, so I hear that there's going to be another one of these.
No.
Or sort of.
They already made it.
Yeah.
There is already a Super Size Me 2.
You know what I mean when I say that.
Yes. It premiered at the...
I don't care if they made it or not.
It premiered already at the Toronto International
Again, how many times must I tell you? If it ain't wide, it don't count.
So anyways, Super Size Me 2, Holy Chicken.
Holy Chicken!
As it has been titled. We'll in fact get a theatrical release.
Okay, explain to me what this is. I'm not sure why this exists. There's no such thing as supersizing anymore.
Right. This film will battle the food industry again, but this time from behind the register, as Morgan Spurlock opens his own fast food restaurant.
Got it. Okay.
But there's more.
All
As
right.
I said, this thing did premiere already at the Toronto International Film Festival and was purchased.
Okay.
Matt, put a price tag on this movie.
$300 million.
You overshot it by $100 billion.
Damn, I was closer than I thought. $200 million.
No. Sorry. 100 times.
Oh.
Over.
Sorry. I thought you said, just $100 million.
No.
No, 100 times. So it was $3 million.
$3.5 million for this document.
That's it? Okay.
Yeah. But that's not the surprising part. The surprising part is who bought it.
Netflix.
No.
Hulu.
No.
Amazon.
No.
I guess it is really surprising. Crackle.
No.
The Dead Corpse of CISO.
No.
IFC.
No.
Bravo.
Keep going. It's an internet company.
Most of those are internet companies. Does not help me. Twitter.
You're closer, but no.
Facebook?
No, keep going.
What?
The one with all the videos on it.
Instagram?
No.
Snapchat.
No.
YouTube.
There you go.
That's not it. Oh, whatever. Anyways.
YouTube Red has purchased Morgan Spurlock's movie
Sure.
for $3.5 million.
All right.
And they will indeed put this in a theatrical release in 2018 and then put it out itself on YouTube Red.
Yeah, okay. That checks out.
Yep.
Sure.
You wasted so much time on that.
Hey, you were the one who asked me to guess.
All right.
It's all on you.
And
You could have just said it.
Yep, and that brings us to that was the end of movies stuff.
That's the end of movies. They're done.
Yeah, well, because after this, after
No more
I
movies.
have the Kingsman up here.
They got rid of them.
Yep. So that's our movie news.
Okay, that's our
Let's
news.
move on.
Let's talk about television.
Yep.
We do not need to dwell on sports. We took care of that yesterday.
Wait, I do have sports here. I have written down, here are our thoughts on this past weekend's events on our Twitch channel via the Sanchez.
Yeah, so if you have not been tuning in to our Tuesday night show, Tuesday nights we are live on twitch.tv/mediaboat with the Sanchez, our journey into Madden 18's franchise mode using none other than the famous football player, as I've referred to him on the site now, Mark Sanchez.
Yes.
So if you want to see Mark Sanchez throw interceptions all the way to probably not the playoffs.
Hey, he had a 350-yard game.
He did, and lost it.
No, we won that one.
We won that
We
one.
won twice.
Then, no, remember? We got that one stolen away from us at the end.
I know.
We won once.
No, we won 3 for 3. We won twice.
No.
Yeah.
We won once. We lost the first game, won the second game, and lost the third game out of a dumb decision by our coach.
No. That third game was the one that we killed. The first one was the one that we narrowly lost by dumb reason.
Anyways. But yeah, so you can tune in again on Tuesday night. But yeah, so if you want to hear more of our thoughts about this week in sports, tune into that show. It'll free up some space on this show. So yeah, we talked about the last week in sports kind of over the Sanchez. Last night, you can find the archived stream of that on twitch.tv or on mediaboatpodcast.com, where you can just press play on the little shiny video on the story.
Yep, so if you want to hear all our thoughts on the current political forecast and how that the NFL and NBA, that's on the Sanchez. We're going to try and relegate all of our sports stuff to
which means we're going to have to continue coming up with dumb ideas for sports streaming. Which actually would be doable, because after this next one for Madden is over, it'll be World Series time.
Yeah, we're going to
jump back into the show.
And we're going back to the show for the World Series. So and that being said, that is going to be a great segue, as this is the last week of MLB baseball. Playoffs will begin starting on October 1st, which is Sunday.
Yep. So if you like baseball, tune in, because there's not a whole lot left.
Yep.
But yeah, anyways, the Sanchez will be back next Tuesday. Tuesday night at around
I believe we are
6 o'clock p.m.
Yeah, and I believe we are also wrapping up.
We have 4 games left in our season. If we can pack all 4 games into a reasonable time, then yes, we will probably have our final episode on Tuesday. If not, you can tune in for another week of it, but we'll see.
Right, at which point we'll play the last game and then have some fun with a bunch of other crazy stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Tune into that. There will be a story posting 15 minutes till on MediaBoatPodcast.com. So tune in there if you want to watch live on our very own website.
All right. So,
all right.
TV stuff happened.
Television.
Yep. Everyone's favorite show, Game of Thrones.
People like it.
Yep. The budget has been released.
Okay.
Yes. So, as we've said before, and we continue to count down, this is season 8 of Game of Thrones, and there will be 6 episodes for the final season. Each episode will have a budget of $15 million.
Damn. That's like 5 Morgan Spurlock documentaries.
Yes. Yes. And if you do the math there, HBO is throwing roughly $100 million at this final season.
That's a lot of money.
Well, it's 90, but I'm sure they'll find another 10 to use somewhere.
Actually, when you consider that each our feature length this season, that's actually not that much money.
Right, because each episode, as we mentioned before, will be roughly 90 minutes.
Which goes to show you how much ridiculous money is in movies these days, if you can make television that good and only spend that much.
Yep. So not only that, but they have also announced the directors for these past 6 episodes, and they have directed some of the favorite and best episodes of Game of Thrones.
It's almost like they did that on purpose or something.
Yes. Directors include Miguel Sapochnik, who directed The Winds of Winter and the Emmy-winning episode that won all the Emmys, The Battle of the Bastards.
Right, so he's the guy.
Yes. So, if you see his name come up in the credits, in the opening of Game of Thrones, expect either a huge-ass battle to happen, or expect some of your favorite characters to maybe not be there anymore.
Yeah, some stuff will go down.
Yes. Also directing will be David Nutter, who directed episodes Mother's Mercy and The Reigns of Castamere. Reigns of Castamere is better known as The Red Wedding.
Got it.
So expect some shit to go down there. And lastly, David Benioff and Dan Weiss, the showrunners, will direct the finale.
As they should,
and is usually tradition.
Yeah.
They will direct the finale. They might also direct the penultimate episode as well, leading up to it. However, those are your directors, which means that there are 6 episodes. Most likely, each one will get 2 episodes. So we're counting down here.
That'll be interesting.
Yep. Also, production for the final season will begin in October and will continue into the spring of next year. This is notable because HBO still hasn't announced a release date, and it very well could miss out next year, meaning we could see this thing in 2019.
Wow. I think that people would revolt if that happened, though. So I don't think they are going to delay it.
Well, here's the thing, though. There's no way they're going to be able to make that April premiere.
Okay.
They may be able to make it summer, or we're going to see this thing in the fall. And if they do it in the fall, they might as well wait until January to say start your year off with Game of Thrones.
Summer season actually might be a smart move for them.
Well, that's
summer,
what they did.
They can pretty much dominate the summer.
Right. This past season was a summer.
Yeah.
Was a summer thing.
I mean, yeah. I think that it makes some sense.
Right, and granted that it is only 6 episodes, I can see them doing summer.
Yeah.
I could also see them doing a winter. What would be interesting is to do a winter 2018 and say, because winter has come, and just roll in with the whole winter theme.
Yeah, I see where you're going, but no. I still think that they gotta get it in.
Well, think about it. Do it right after November, or in November. You get episode 6 right after Thanksgiving, and you end it right before the New Year.
No.
That's 6 weeks.
Nope.
That is 6 weeks.
No.
Yes.
I don't agree with you. I think it's gonna be summer.
Okay. You're wrong.
We'll see.
No, you're just wrong.
I'm not wrong this time.
Alright. And last bit of news here for Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones stars Kit Harington and Rose Leslie are engaged.
Oh.
Yes, they made it in 2012 as the titular Jon Snow and the wildlings Ygritte. But sadly, Ygritte left the show 2 years later. Or sorry, she didn't leave the show. She was killed.
She died.
She died. Well, yes, I say that. Yeah, she died, and then she's marrying the man who simply won't die. So, yep, that happened. Or that happened, will happen. They're engaged. Who knows when the wedding is, but yeah. So, congratulations on the announcement. We'll send our gifts in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this brings us to SNL.
Sure.
So, coming off their Emmy-winning season, and the upcoming season premiere on Saturday. Guys, it's here.
It came up quick.
Guys, it's here.
All
Ryan
right.
Gosling and Jay-Z.
Bruce.
Yep, Ryan Gosling and Jay-Z will be your host and musical guests for this weekend.
We're missing a crucial piece of the puzzle here. We're a week till, and we don't know the cast. Tell me the news.
So, the news is that they have casted the next 2 episodes. No, casted.
That's not... No.
Yes. So, the next 2 episodes will be Gal Gadot and favorite of the show here, Kumail Nanjiani.
Not what I was talking about, but sure, yes, I also saw this. It's those are 2 really good, solid picks.
Yes. Gal Gadot will host October 7th with musical guest Sam Smith, who put out a new song about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And then Kumail will host the following weekend, October 14th, with musical guest Pink.
So I saw today that on Twitter they were taking suggestions over Twitter for musical guests for the rest of the season. Okay. So I thought that was kind of a neat little thing. Getting some fan input there.
I'm assuming one hot one would be Chance the Rapper.
He's already hosted, so that would be a good one to get back.
Wait, did he host?
Yes. Chance did no, sorry, he didn't host.
Yeah, he did the musical.
Oh, you want him to do double duty?
Yeah, double duty.
Okay, yeah, he would give you a good pick for that. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who else do you think should?
For hosting duties?
No, for musical guests.
Musical guest. I would say Linkin Park because they have a new album, but
I mean, it's
I don't
still
think
technically possible.
Yeah,
but
it's
I
still
don't know
possible.
if they want to anymore.
Right.
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters will definitely.
I think will probably show up this season.
Yep. Expect Lorde to come out again. I think she'll do one.
Probably not right away since she was so recent.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. Yeah. Paramore?
Maybe.
They never did it. They haven't done it before. I'd like to see them do it.
Expect another Justin Timberlake episode. I feel like it's been a while for him.
It's time.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, but there's another story, what I was trying to get you to, which is you told me that there was something about some cast members. Some announcements were finally made.
Oh, yes.
Which is what I'm excited to hear about. After threatening that I would look this up, I actually didn't look this up, so I still do not know. I'm curious to see if you know who is staying and who they're adding on.
Well, we know who's staying. Everyone.
Well,
we know who's leaving as well.
Yeah, we know. So to recap what we know,
yes,
Bobby Moynihan has departed.
Vanessa Bayer
has left,
and Sashir Zameda.
Yes, Sashir Zameda has left.
Yes.
So the rest, I'm glad they didn't excise Melissa Villaseñor. I thought she was sure a one-season
on the bubble
thing, but I'm glad that she's back. I want to see more of her Owen Wilson. Right. That's hilarious to me. I don't know why, but that's hilarious to me. Anyway. Who are the newbies?
Oh, you mean the featured players?
Let's talk about our featured players.
So, first featured player is Heidi Gardner.
All right, who's Heidi Gardner?
She was part of the Groundlings.
Of course she was.
That's all I got on her.
Really?
Yeah. Do you know who?
No.
Oh.
That's why I'm asking.
Oh.
I don't know who she is. So she hasn't really done anything else besides improv?
Yep.
Okay. Interesting.
We also have Luke Null, who is part of I.O. Chicago. Another improv troupe.
All right, that's it.
And lastly, we have Chris Red,
Okay.
who you should know.
I should?
Yes.
Should I?
Yes.
I don't know.
He was in Popstar. Never Stop, Never Stopping.
What do you know?
He was the rapper.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, okay. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
All right. I can totally see it.
So those will be your 3 featured players.
Okay, cool.
Added to the cast this season.
That's great.
Also, we have 7 new writers coming
Okay.
behind the scenes here.
Cool.
They are Sam J., who wrote for Comedy Central's Comic to Watch.
Okay.
Gary Richardson, writer or premiered or starred in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay.
We have Rick Marino, who wrote for The Hughleys.
All right.
We have Andrew Dismucus, who was a touring comic.
Dismucus?
Yes.
Okay.
Who was a touring comic. Most notably part of the Fun Fest.
Okay.
We also have Stephen Castillo, who recently did a set at LA Riot, or Riot LA. We also have Claire Friedman, who was the editor for the Harvard Lampoon, and Nimesh Patel, who was a writer for the 88th Academy Awards.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And also, in a side note, Pete Davidson has been diagnosed with split personality disorder.
Really?
Yes. He's been officially diagnosed.
Interesting. Huh.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That's interesting.
Okay.
I don't have anything else to say about that.
No. Alright.
So yeah, moving on. What else do we got?
Moving on. Arrowverse will be getting ready for another 2 or 4 episode crossover.
Okay,
event.
real quick, explain what Arrowverse means.
Basically, the DC CW.
Right, the CW shows that are based on DC Comics. So
Yes.
Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl, and DC Legends of Tomorrow.
Correct. You've
Okay.
named all 4.
Named all 4. I did it.
Yes.
What's my prize?
Your prize is Crisis on Earth
Crisis on Earth!
X.
Earth X.
Yes.
Oh, because there's different Earths.
Right, because
And DC
they
continuity.
because DC continuity revolves around the multiverse.
Like, what number Earth is this?
Right.
Kind of stuff.
Yep. So they recently announced Crisis on Earth X, and will feature villains from the alternate universe of Earth X
Okay.
as they crash a wedding and force our heroes to work together again. I say again because this, of course, happened last year when the first 4-part crossover event happened.
Okay.
And it looks like they'll be doing this seasonally.
Cool.
Yep. It will be evocative of the annual Justice League / Justice Society crossover special from the comics. They have just started production on that, so look for it to come out later in the season. Probably like a November release.
Yeah. Sounds about
Yeah.
right.
I only say that because that's usually around the holidays. That's usually around sweeps when everybody gets their big episodes in.
Yep. Smart.
Yep. All right. And speaking of CW, let's keep with that thing going
Okay.
and talk about Riverdale.
Okay. What's up with Riverdale?
Riverdale. Well, Riverdale's lead actor, who plays Archie, KJ Apa, age 20, on the CW series, was in a car accident.
Oh.
Yep. Apparently, he fell asleep driving his 45-minute trip home after working a 16-hour day.
Damn.
He was taken to a local hospital for observation and later discharged without serious injuries. The passenger side of the car, however, was destroyed after striking a light pole, and the vehicle was rendered inoperable.
Damn.
This has prompted the cast and crew to demand better safety protections during production.
Uh-huh.
Yep. The show, Riverdale, routinely requires shoots that last until the early mornings of the hour, and are not provided transportation to and from the set. Here's where it gets interesting. You know how I said that the passenger side was completely destroyed?
Yeah.
Someone was supposed to be in there.
Oh.
None other than co-star Jughead, played by Cole Sprouse.
Oh, that Cole Sprouse.
Yes. Of the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody Cole Sprouse.
Right.
Big Daddy Cole Sprouse.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
That Cole Sprouse.
Yes. He had planned to be in the car as well, but changed his plans at the last minute.
Good idea. Good call with the change of plans.
Yep. A call between representative for the actors and WB executives is being set to discuss the issue further.
Jeez.
Whether it is cutting hours or making sure that if you do work over 12 hours or X amount of hours, that there's transportation provided for you.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that it took something like this for them to realize that maybe that's a little overworking your people.
This is set in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So Canadian law is in effect here.
Sure. Yeah, you would hope that hopefully they take this as a lesson. It's just, again, it sucks that this had to happen for this to didn't even think about the conditions of their actors. But yeah, that's bad. And yeah, I hope they figure it out. Hey! Do we have anything else for television news?
Yes.
We do?
Yes. Lastly, we have our thoughts on American Vandal.
Yeah, so you watched this thing. There are thoughts up on MediaBoatPodcast.com if you want to see him get in depth here.
Yeah, we were pretty busy on our thoughts this weekend.
We were. There were a lot of things to think about, for sure.
Yes.
So yeah, tell me about American Vandal, which is on Netflix and is a fake documentary series.
It is a parody documentary series on the recent rise in docu-crime.
Crime documentaries.
Crime documentaries.
So think your the
How to Make a Murderer.
Yeah.
Scandal.
What was the one? The Confession Tapes.
Yeah, Confession
was the recent
Tapes.
One.
Yeah.
The one you watched recently too. The Keepers.
Yes.
It's like stuff like that.
Yeah. These really thought-provoking and really in-depth.
It's like, did he really do it, or did he not really do it?
Yeah.
Let's talk to everybody in their lives to find out.
Try and get to the bottom of this.
And they're usually pretty plotting pace-wise because it's like a lot of research and they go through everything.
And then you're like, hey, look at all this research we did just to get to the conclusion.
So this is that, but with a twist.
Right. The twist being that this is a scripted
it's fictional.
docuseries. It's all fake.
None of this happened.
Yes.
But also it's a twist because it's about high schoolers.
Right. Not only is it about high schoolers, but it is also about the effects that something like this can cause on people in their society, how people are viewed.
So it's reading your thoughts, it sounded like something that you did not necessarily anticipate the direction it was going to go in.
No, I did anticipate this was going in because I had read reviews saying that this is a much-watched documentary.
Oh.
It's not a documentary, it's a mockumentary, however you want to put it.
But also, it was a little bit more, it was more hinged on the high school drama aspect than you wanted it to be.
Yes, that's where my issue comes in with it.
Right.
Because as well done and as poignant as it tries to be, it still ultimately is a high school drama.
Yeah, when I was watching a little bit of it, it seemed like it is hitting the notes that you would want something like this to hit.
Right.
But
then, like, every 5 minutes they do like a dick joke or like a pop culture reference or something.
It would turn into their attempt at quote comedy unquote. I hesitate to use comedy normally.
Right.
To really describe it was basically like, oh, but we want to remind you every once in a while that these are high schoolers.
Right.
And it's like, I get it. I get that tonally. But what it creates is such a weird tone for that thing. It's like, who is this for? Kind of thing. It's like, who is this for? This is obviously not for high schoolers because it deals with some really serious stuff and there's constant profanity and it's obviously meant for adults. But at the same time, it's just so juvenile.
Right.
It's like, who is this for, kind of thing. But it's well done. It does exactly what you want it to do, just in a weird way. I think is probably a way you could put it. So yeah, it wasn't your favorite thing.
No, it wasn't my favorite thing that Netflix has done. But that being said, what it does well in terms of like poking fun at all these docu-crimes and like over-analyzing everything as they do.
Yeah.
That part I like. That part's good. That part, well done. They hit the nail on the head in that.
Fair.
It's the juvenile comedic part that I think
Didn't work.
doesn't work for it. Even though that is exactly what they're trying to do with it.
They're trying to do both. They're trying to do both at the same time. And I think that, I think it just overwhelmed it. It was distracting, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else to say?
Nope, that's all I have to say on it. That brings us to our cancellations.
Wait. No, it doesn't.
What? We have another review?
I watched a documentary, too.
What documentary did you watch?
No, that's not a documentary. I didn't talk about that last week, but I'll be real brief here. Yeah, I watched BoJack Horseman Season 4. My thoughts are on the site. Go there for information. Anyways, but this week I watched Lady Gaga, 5'2", which is a documentary about Janet Jackson. No, it's about Lady Gaga. Surprise.
Lady Gaga is her stage name.
So yeah, I actually don't know her real name. It's Stephanie something.
Stephanie, yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so...
Stephanie, last name very Italian.
Yes, very much so. And so yeah, it's a documentary about Lady Gaga taking place in the road to her release of Joanne last year, her most recent album. And it is a very fascinating piece of piece of TV. So that thing kind of does a really good job of establishing Lady Gaga as a person, which is something that's really hard to do because her persona has been so, larger than life.
Right.
And it kind of talks about that too. So one of the weird things about the album cycle for Joanne last year was that she wanted it to be her as a person, and it wanted to be less of like, I'm not going to be the person walking out looking ridiculous anymore. That's not who I am anymore. Well, I'm just going to do one where it's just me doing an album about like things that matter to me personally, and that was kind of different for her. And so with this documentary is kind of a companion piece to that, because it really goes into who is Lady Gaga as a person. So you get to see where she lives. You get to see her with, like, no makeup, no outfits, just in a leotard and sweatpants. That's literally how this thing opens up, is she is cooking in her kitchen in a leotard and sweatpants with her family around her. And it's this different image for Gaga, this entirely different world. And then it goes into further things about her, like, her struggling with, like, the stress of recovering from a hip injury that she had suffered, into like her interactions with like her massage therapist, and like her like genuinely looking like she's in pain constantly, and the only respite she gets from this pain is performing. And then it goes into, you would actually think this part's interesting, it goes into her preparation for her Super Bowl performance. Yeah, so you get to see her warming up for the Super Bowl performance, and even get to see her interacting with like the stage manager and stuff for that performance. Super fascinating stuff. It also goes into stuff about recording for Joanne. You get to see her in the recording booth with Florence Welch of Florence and the Machine for the song that they did a duet on. You get to see her with a couple of producers, both with Mark Ronson and with Blood Pop, who is also making a name for himself recently. But yeah, it's just a fascinating little thing. It's like, and she's really dwelling with some real problems in this thing. She talks not only with her injury and not only with her pain that she's suffering through, but also like dwelling on just her feeling alone. Like she talks about multiple times, she kind of breaks down in this thing, talking about how she feels like she has no true friends, that she has no time to be with her family, she has no time to find a relationship post her major not divorce, she was married, I think it was just a breakup, but like a couple years ago. It's just like super interesting. I was way into this thing. So yeah, if that sounds at all interesting, it's very compelling and well-made documentary. So if you think, if you want to know more about kind of the inside life of Lady Gaga, I'd say check that out. And also, for those who are interested, there is one scene where she is topless.
Okay, we're checking this out.
I knew I'd get you.
You had me at Super Bowl.
Yeah, I figured. But yeah, it's a really cool thing. It's about an hour and 45 minutes. It's a little on the long side. Okay. But if you have some time and that sounds interesting to you and you like music, it's one of the more interesting portraits of a modern pop star that I think we've had in a long time.
Okay.
So yeah, that's cool.
All right. And that brings us to cancellations and renewals.
It does. What is still on the earth and what is no longer with us?
So first up, we have Billy on the Streets. Canceled. Yeah.
Canceled?
Canceled after its 5th season. It was up for a 6th season, but it will not be on TV. However, it will likely return in a new format on a new network.
Got it. Okay.
Yes. Also, BoJack Horseman renewed for season 5.
Of course, we saw that. Actually, I saw that the morning after we recorded.
Yep.
On last Thursday. So.
Yep. Then, as for people who have left us, we have Seth Firkins, age 36, American audio engineer who worked with Future, Jay-Z, and Young Thug. We also have Barry Dennen, age 79, actor in Jesus Christ Superstar, The Shining, and Fiddler on the Roof. But the big death, the one that happened literally hours ago. I don't know if you saw this. Probably not.
I don't know.
But an American icon and legend has sadly left us at the ripe old age of 91, surrounded by the most beautiful ladies you have ever seen. Of course, we're talking about Mr. Hugh Hefner.
Wait, really?
Has officially died.
Wait, is Alex still alive? Do we have a pulse for her? Because...
I don't know, but official American icon, Playboy founder Hugh Hefner died in his mansion, surrounded by loved ones. 91 years old.
She is not going to take this well.
She doesn't take anything well.
Friend of the show, Alex, is not going to be thrilled by this.
Yes. Hugh Hefner, for those of you who don't know, started the issue of Playboy.
Yes.
Yeah, started from his kitchen table.
The Playboy empire.
The first issue was in December of 1953, and has continued to produce magazines.
So this is just this is not from your story, but I just know this is that the after his passing, that the Playboy empire will be handed down to his son.
Okay.
That was at least the plan. So as far as I know, that is still happening.
Right, and as far as we've reported, at least, the Playboy Mansion has been sold.
Right, that already happened.
Right, that had already happened.
Right, and our joke was, does he come with the mansion?
And the answer was yes.
Yes, he did.
Does. For as long as he lived.
Now he'll probably be buried in the yard, I'm sure.
The grotto, most likely.
He's got to be buried in there, right?
I would assume so.
Where else would they put it? He's got to be there.
Rose Hill Cemetery, where all the celebrities are buried.
Yeah, but think about it. He would want to be there.
Yeah, yes.
He would want to be behind the mansion.
Yes.
So yeah, he'll be there.
Some of his notable awards. Yes, include the 1996 International Publishing Award.
Okay.
In September 2001, he was inducted into the New York Friars Club. In January 2002, he received the Henry Johnson Fisher Award, the highest honor of the Magazine Publishers of America. Also, in March 2002, he inducted into the Harvard honorary member of the Harvard Lampoon.
Sure. So
yeah,
I mean, I guess I think that the takeaway here is this will be the loss of an American icon.
Yes.
Regardless of what you thought about him, like I'm over the history of Playboy's existence, it's kind of gone in and out of public consciousness. No pun intended. I mean, but it's an interesting publication to kind of look back on. I mean, you had a lot of very important authors having their first published written work there.
Yep.
You had a lot of famous pictorials, of course. A lot of famous celebrities have come out of Playboy. Pamela Anderson, for one. You've also had, you could call
the iconic centerfold.
Yeah, and of course the bunny logo. Like these are important things.
The short-lived TV show from NBC.
The Game. Remember the Playboy Game?
Yes.
But yeah, it's like it'll be it's sad in a way to see him go. You could make an argument that maybe he was a little opportunistic about the sexual revolution in the late 50s, early 60s. But what are you gonna say? I think that Playboy had a piece of American culture for a very, very long time.
Yes.
So yeah, it'll be a different thing now without that man, but he will live on in our consciousness and in pop culture jokes for I'm sure as long as we're alive.
Yep. And if you ever see someone just wearing a robe, smoking a cigar, walking around their house, it's a Hugh Hefner joke.
Yeah, or something more generic than that, but yeah, maybe.
Yes. Hugh Hefner is also a 2-time Guinness Book World Record holder, including holding the longest-running editor of the magazine, and for having the largest scrapbook collection.
I'm sure he does.
Which consists of 2,900 volumes.
I'm sure he does. Okay. Yeah, he will be missed, but we will all remember him as a society for a very long time. Okay. What else do we got?
Yep. So, yeah, that happened. He will be severely missed. Expect the next couple of days for Hugh Hefner tributes and tweets to come out.
Yeah, something.
Or something like that.
We'll see. Before we move on to music, this is kind of a segue story.
What? Why?
Music, video games.
Video games.
It's just weird. There's a story that I know we haven't talked about, which is a television story, and I don't know why you're waiting for music, even though the dude does music.
Well, I could put it in the music. That's why.
It's not a music story. That is a television story.
No, put it in the music. Don't worry, I put it in there.
We can find video games.
Video games.
What do we have for video games?
So for video games, Sony. Two notable things about Sony.
Okay.
First off, the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
Yeah.
Has sold over 2.5 million copies worldwide.
That's really good.
Yes.
In case you couldn't figure that out.
Yes. Basically anything over 1 million is great.
But in this case, that's really good.
Yes, because it's 2.5. This thing is selling like bonkers.
Well, no, like Bonkers is probably a different platformer.
It is.
This is Crash.
Yes. Also, the upcoming games for PS Plus owners for October have been released.
What do we got?
They include Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain.
All right.
Amnesia Collection. Monster Jam Battlegrounds. Hue. That's H-U-E, Hue.
Okay.
Hustle Kings and Skyforce Anniversary.
Okay. I'll try some MGS5. Yeah. I played the thing that came out before it, the little demo thing.
Right, the prologue.
I forgot what it's called. But yeah, I'll try the proper game out. I didn't actually play it when it came out. It was kind of at a time where, kind of like right now, where a lot was coming out and we did not have the money for everything.
Right.
So, yeah, I'll totally try some MGS5 for free.
Hey, it's free.
Yeah. I mean, I finished 4.
I mean, it is a, 3-year-old game now?
The only Metal Gear Solid game I've played to completion was 4. I did not play 1 through 3.
I played, I want to say 2.
And then beat PS2.
And then I played 4, but I never beat 4.
Yeah, I finished 4. It took me, actually didn't take me very long. That game is not hard. It's just weird.
Yeah, that's what threw me.
And that's why I liked it. It was so weird and so...
Yeah, the Metal Gear universe is weird.
It's very, very strange. So,
alright. Moving on to Hostile Takeovers.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
Ubisoft.
This is depressing news.
Yes, and not such high regarded news. Vivendi is officially looking to complete its hostile takeover of Ubisoft and pretty much buy out all stocks.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what we feared.
Yep. So earlier this month, there were discussions in Vivendi about whether they should even stay invested in Ubisoft or not, and just basically sell off everything that they owned and let the company fend for itself. Turns out they went with the former route and are going all in on Ubisoft, and they could take over them as early as November. So we've reported on Ubisoft for a while now about how they are trying to stay an independent company, how they don't want Vivendi to take over for them.
We talked about this especially last week. Basically, the conclusion we came to is like, we just don't know. There's been major corporate takeovers of smaller, I guess in this case only slightly smaller entities before, and it hasn't gone well. So just history repeating itself suggests that this would not be, that having giant corporate overlords calling the shots for Ubi would not be great.
Right, and like we reported last weekend, last show, the primary, I won't say parents, they feel like parents, owners of Ubisoft had bought more stock in order to try to retain control.
The Guillemot family had bought a bunch of their shares, trying to keep the thing afloat. But it wasn't going to work because that's the thing about hostile takeovers. They're called that for a reason.
Yes, they happen without warning.
Yes.
Which in this case, I guess you could say there was a bunch of warning signs.
There were warnings, but they were hoping that there was ways they could legally get out of it.
Right.
Or at least keep it at bay as fast, as long as possible. But ultimately, these guys really wanted it, so they got it, and now we'll see the aftermath of it.
Yep.
But who knows? We could choose to remain positive here, optimistic about this. Maybe they'll let them be, for the most part, autonomous. We don't know. Maybe they will. But that remains to be seen.
Right. And that brings us to our next story, and probably the last bit of news we will ever say about Shadow of War until it comes out.
Yeah, probably.
So, this would probably be the definitive answer on the so-called Forgoth the Destroyer DLC.
Okay.
And the final thing we'll ever say about this.
This thing is still happening.
Okay, one, yes, this is still happening, but two, it is like coming to, this whole debacle about it is finally coming to an end.
Okay.
So, as we've mentioned continuously on this podcast, the upcoming DLC for Shadow of War was created to immortalize Michael Forgay, to raise funds to help support his widow and children. Warner Brothers Interactive now recognizes that tying donations to sales of the DLC was not the best way to achieve their goal of offering financial support to the family, and they sincerely apologize to the fans and to the Forgay family for the confusion that they have created surrounding this.
Fair.
Alright, so, as of now, Warner Brothers Interactive will make a donation directly to the family.
Okay.
The DLC will be withdrawn from sale and will be a free download.
Okay.
Anyone who purchased the DLC will receive a full refund, and if you are interested in donating directly to the family, you can visit their youcaring.com site by searching for Michael Forgay.
Man, that's a mess.
So, the end result of trying to do something, of Warner Brothers Interactive trying to do something good, ended up being, well, we're just going to give you money and not deal with all these international laws and state laws and what we can and cannot do, and just be like, okay, this is just treat this as a free DLC.
I mean, yeah, this was a total mess. I think they dealt with it in the best way possible.
Right. On the one hand, they were trying to do something good, but then on the other hand, there's everything against it.
There's just things they couldn't control.
Right.
But I think that they ultimately made the right call here. They're still doing the right thing and donating to the cause. But they're also, understandably, it's explaining to their audience, like, hey, we didn't know what we were necessarily doing with this thing. We apologize to you, too. Let's just give you the money back. You didn't have to spend anything. You're good.
Right, considering that the game isn't even out yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they were trying to do something nice for one of their teammates and be like, hey, we're going to immortalize you. We're going to do something, nice. And I thought it was good. But just...
Yeah. It's
things beyond their control happened.
Crappy situation, but they got it resolved in the classiest way possible. So good on them.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, and that brings us to our next story about SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah. So this is a story we've been doing for almost a year now, I swear.
On October 21st, 2016.
Yeah.
SAG-AFTRA went on strike.
I was almost exactly right.
Yes.
Almost a year. A month from a year. But anyways, yes. So they've been on strike against... so this is the voice actors for video games have been on strike against a few key video game companies for all sorts of things.
Right. So SAG-AFTRA has reached an agreement to end the strike against 11 video game companies that were still holding out, that have been, as we said, waging the strike since October 21st of last year. The terms of the tentative agreement, which was reached early Sunday morning, include a new bonus structure that provides additional payments to performers.
That's good.
The bonus is based on the number of sessions worked on each game, beginning with a $75 payment of the first session, totaling $2,100 after 10 sessions. There is also a new transparency clause.
Yeah.
That I didn't know was not in existence.
Yeah.
Because this new clause requires companies to disclose the code name of the project, its genre, and whether the game is based on previously published intellectual property, and whether the performer is reprising a prior role, as well as the use of unusual terminology, either to be profanity or racial slurs.
So this is interesting because, yeah, like you said, this wasn't already a thing. Like, so you can imagine a scenario where somebody would. So let's just say Ashley Birch, member of SAG, AFTRA, as we know, comes in to record for a game.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
But doesn't. So this is, let's say, Horizon Zero Dawn 2. She comes in not knowing that, one, is reprising a role that she has already been in. So they don't tell her it's Horizon Zero Dawn 2. She just walks in, she just is handed a script, and they're like, read this. Turns out, it's just Aloy saying fuck 18 times. And so she just has to say fuck, fuck, fuck as Aloy. And she's like, what the hell is this? And they're like, oh, we can't tell you. It's like, what kind of game is this? Oh, we can't tell you.
Just try different inflections.
Yeah.
Fuck. Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck. Fuck. Fuck. Fuck. Fuck.
But
that's our explicit warning, everyone.
So yeah, I guess that won't happen anymore.
Yes.
It was like the most extreme example of that.
Right. But still, stuff like that happens because
Apparently,
there are a bunch of
totally
like NPC characters that do generic phrases that you don't necessarily know like what the game's for. Like, they come in and say like, "Sorry, you can't purchase that."
Now there is one thing that they didn't get from this.
Right, and that is the residuals.
Okay, and so we've been on this podcast talk about how, yeah, it would be cool if they got them, because that would be really great for the actors. But, of course, as we brought up before, the kind of weird caveat, and probably why it didn't actually happen, was because that voice actors aren't the only ones who don't get residuals from video games. In fact, what if I told you no one gets residuals from video games? Not the developers, not the artists, not...
It goes to the company, right?
It's like the publisher, I think.
Right, the publisher.
Nobody else does. So that is the thing that I think kept them from winning the Golden Goose, you could say.
Right.
Is because it's too strong of an argument that if no one gets it, why would the voice actors get it? So yeah, I understand when it's a medium that is 100% based on actors, like television, and, well, I mean, not 100%, that's unfair. Writers, like, that there's structure in place for those industries, for television and film, because, well, one, they've been around for way longer. Two, they've been unionized for way longer. Whereas video games, voice actors are, like, the only ones who are unionized.
Right.
There's no, well, besides some writers, depending on what writers you get, there's no union for developers. There probably should be. Especially considering how how tough development can be, especially when there's crunch involved and all sorts of tough development situations. So yeah, it's like I'm not surprised that they didn't get that because no one has it, and so it's going to have to take a huge change in the video game industry for that to happen. So we will see.
Yep. Alright, and that brings us to our final story of video game news, and that is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Right, so PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is currently, as I'm sure you know, the biggest game on Steam. So you can extrapolate that out to be the biggest game on PC right now. Right. So chances are, if you know somebody who's a big PC guy, or gal, or whoever, they're probably way into Battlegrounds right now. And so the drum roll is now to when every game in the world imitates the Battlegrounds style. It's gonna happen. Get ready for 2018. It's gonna be nothing but Battlegrounds clones. However, it's already started in earnest. So if I say the name Fortnite, do you remember that one is a game, and two, who is it by?
Ubisoft.
No.
No.
So Fortnite, yes, is a game, and it's an Epic Games game. Okay. So the studio that brings you the Unreal Engine is also responsible for Fortnite. Fortnite was is currently in early access, even though it's technically not really treated as thus, game that is kind of a hero-based shooter with building elements. It's the one that Randy Pitchford of Gearbox called. No, that's Battleborn. Never mind. that was on purpose. Anyways, so Fortnite decided to announce late last week that they were going to make a Battle Royale mode. Battle Royale is kind of the catch-all term for games that are like Battlegrounds, that are big 100-player or whatever matches where it's the last person to survive wins.
All right.
Like Battlegrounds. So Fortnite introduced a Battle Royale mode, except with Fortnite characters and a Fortnite map, and with the building that's in Fortnite that's not in Battlegrounds. So in the announcement that they put out for this, they had acknowledged that they were inspired by Battlegrounds, mentioned it by name, and said that this was, inspired by them, and that they think it's a really great game. They don't mean to take anything away from it. This is just, we wanted to do our own kind of take on it. Fast forward to this week. One of the dudes responsible for PlayerUnknown Battleground, PlayerUnknown himself, released a statement that, one, they weren't cool with the fact that Fortnite has released this mode, and that they would, quote, continue further action if necessary, unquote. So, since then, the internet, of course, freaked out about this for multiple reasons. One, surely the guy who made this should have known that this was going to be something that people would want to iterate on, that other developers would want to make their own versions of.
Right.
He doesn't necessarily... So the other thing here is that...
Just like when Five Nights at Freddy's came out and everyone was...
Making clones of that.
Making clones of that, yeah. Makes sense.
And Flappy Bird. So that's the other side of this
Flappy
thing.
Bird?
Yeah, Flappy Bird.
I think you mean Angry Birds.
No, I mean Flappy Bird.
Also Angry Birds.
So many Flappy Birds.
Also Candy Crush.
So the reason for that is because in the United States, there's no way to copyright the look and feel of a video game.
Yeah.
You can copyright art, and you can copyright names. You cannot copyright the feel. So basically, gameplay is not something you can copyright. So there's no way that they can legally that they copied the game.
Oh god.
So that's tricky with video games. That's why it's tricky. So, anyways, but then to kind of further wrinkle this, the guy kind of came back out and kind of responded to this criticism and said, the guy behind Battlegrounds, and said, "Oh, we weren't necessarily saying that Fortnite didn't have the grounds to make a game like ours. That's fine. We just weren't cool with them using our name in the statement and specifically referencing us without having discussed it beforehand with us." So it kind of changes the whole tone of it, doesn't it? It almost sounds like he had to walk it back because he came out basically sounding like, no one can make our game. We're the only game in town. Right. Which is not necessarily what he meant, or so he says. So we'll see how it goes out. We'll see if they actually do pursue any further.
I mean, is there any other way you could take that statement then?
No.
No.
So Epic is smartly keeping out of this. They have not made a statement about whether they're going to do. Seems like they have a plan for releasing more content for this mode for Fortnite. So I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. I think they have complete legal grounds to keep this going. And yeah, I think this is just the first of many Battlegrounds clones because that thing is huge.
You know how long this debacle's gonna last?
Not very long.
About a fortnight.
Yeah, about a fortnight. It's pretty good. So it's not a huge story, but because Battlegrounds is so big, I felt like we had to talk about it. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. I'm sure it'll be something we have our eye on. Yes.
Okay, moving on. Matt, what is in the Billboard?
I can tell you what's in the Billboard charts this week.
This week? No, I'm talking about like next week.
No, this week.
Okay.
Charts for Billboard. We have our Hot 100, which is our singles chart. We have a new number one. Your number one song.
Despacito.
No, it's not.
Oh.
So your new number one this week, moving up from further down in the chart, is Bodak Yellow, Money Moves by Cardi B.
So this is notable.
Yes, this is notable. The first female rapper in 19 years to have a number one song on the Billboard chart.
Wait, you're telling me that Nicki Minaj never had a number one?
Nicki Minaj.
Or does she not count herself as a female rapper?
It's not true. She definitely counts as a female rapper. No, she must not have had a number one.
Okay.
I guess Starships was probably her biggest hit, and probably was just a top 5 hit, and probably never hit number one.
All right.
But yeah, so
what was the last number one then?
15
years ago?
Piece of trivia I am not sure about.
Oh.
19 years ago. So I don't know what it would have been.
I'm gonna go with Push It T, Salt Pepper.
Salt and Pepper. Push It.
Yeah, that would be.
Maybe.
That would be.
That's longer than 19 years ago.
No, 19 years ago would be 98.
Yeah, that's longer than 98.
Okay.
That song predates.
So female rapper 98. Missy Elliott.
Gotta be Missy Elliott, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Work It.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Is that 98?
That sounds right.
Okay.
Okay. We're talking out of our asses. But yeah,
this is impressive, by the way.
The rest of our top 5 singles here. Number 2, debuting at number 2, "Rockstar" by Post Malone featuring 21 Savage. Number 3, "Look What You Made Me Do" by Taylor Swift, dropping down a few. Number 4, 1-800-273-8255, "Logic" featuring Alessia Cara and Khalid. And number 5, "Despacito" by Luis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee featuring Justin Bieber. Your top 200, which is your albums chart, is topped this week by none other than your friendly neighborhood Foo Fighters.
Hey!
Concrete and Gold is their number one album this week, debuting at number 1. Number 2, "Love Is Rage 2" by Lil Uzi Vert, moving up a little bit. "Life Changes" by Thomas Rhett, number 3. "Damn" by Kendrick Lamar, getting a weird bump again, back into the top 5 at number 4. And number 5, "17" by XXXTentacion.
Okay.
And that's your album chart.
Moana?
For the week, Moana Watch 2017.
Coming up on a year for that Moana.
Moving down the list here. It's down.
Out of the 20s?
Down. Moana is number 19.
Oh, hey.
Back in the 20.
Yep.
This week.
Back in the top
So,
20.
yeah, that's your Billboard.
Yep. New releases include Ben Frost, "The Center Cannot Hold." David Crosby with "Sky Trails." A new Demi Lovato album.
Okay.
I don't know why it's titled this, but it's titled "Tell Me You Love Me."
Okay, I will. Demi.
I will not. We also have Echo Smith with "Inside a Dream."
Echo Smith once opened for swearing.
I swear. We also have Fortet with "New Energy."
Uh-huh.
We have Hertz with "Desire."
That hurts.
We have Jessica Leigh Mayfield with "Sorry Is Gone." Good thing The Voice is back because Miley Cyrus has a new album out called "Younger Now."
Younger Now, finally.
Yes, including the hit single "Malibu."
Sure, you can call that a hit.
We also have Primus with "The Desaturating 7."
Okay.
We have a really great name here, Propagandhi with "Victory Lap."
That's a pretty good name.
Shania Twain, recently on Broad City, has a new album out.
Yeah.
Called "Now."
Now?
Now.
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 Yep. Out now.
Okay.
We also have
No,
Dream.
Friday.
Yeah, out Friday.
That's wrong.
We also have The Dream with "Love Affair."
Oh.
Vessels with the Great Distraction.
Okay.
And Wolf Alice with "Visions of a Life."
All right.
Okay. Moving on to music news.
I'll probably suffer through that Miley Cyrus thing.
So, do we want to give our quick thoughts on, or let's wait to the
Some
end?
music? do we want to talk about some music?
We'll save it for the end.
Because I did listen to some music this week.
All right, we'll save it for the end.
Yeah,
then.
let's do news first.
All right, so news first. Holograms.
Holograms.
Are really hot.
They always have been.
Yes. As earlier this year, Ronnie James Dio, a hologram, was announced.
Right.
Tour was announced, and now a new partnership has been announced to develop a Frank Zappa hologram show.
Sure.
Tour dates are planned to be announced in 2018, and will go back out on tour playing his most well-known music, as well as some rare, unheard material.
Okay.
So, looks like more hologram musicians are coming out of the woodwork to go on tour.
That's what happens.
Yeah. The blood, sweat, and zeros.
Sure. Yeah. It's not what you were going for there.
Alright, moving on.
Okay.
Alright, moving on to the Super Bowl. As we previously mentioned in this podcast, Lady Gaga was last year's halftime performer.
It's true.
That brings us to the question of who will be at this year's show.
Well, I can tell you who won't be at this year's show.
Who won't be at this year's show?
Mr. Jay-Z.
That is correct.
Yeah, I saw this.
Yes, and Mr. Jay-Z said he has no intentions of performing during the Super Bowl halftime show. He said that he was approached, but did not want to follow his wife, Beyonce, in her footsteps, seeing as she has already performed twice.
The NFL then, of course, released a statement saying, like, we haven't asked anybody yet. We don't know. It could be anyone.
Which is false.
Yeah.
Because we're already in week 4 of the NFL.
They've had to talk
and they've already had to have at least mentioned who they would like to see. So, Matt, who would you like to see?
Well, there's a lot of people I like to see. You mean, who do I think they're going to get?
Yes.
This is a tough one. Justin Timberlake?
You'd be right. You'd actually be correct. Right on the nose.
Yeah.
As
That's
Justin Timberlake is reportedly finalizing the deal to headline the 2018 Super Bowl halftime show.
Gotta be. Okay, here's the question, though. Here's the real question. If they do a JT Super Bowl performance, is there a Janet Jackson appearance? Just to see. Just to see whether they do.
Yes, you bring this up because this will be JT's return after the Janet Jackson incident 14 years ago.
Yeah, can you believe
back in 2004, and it'd be interesting to see if whether or not they perform the exact same song and do the exact same moves, and it actually works this time.
No, it's even worse this time. There's no pasting. What we're referring to, of course, is the infamous Super Bowl wardrobe malfunction incident, which is where actually that term comes from.
Yes.
With JT and Janet Jackson. I think that this would be his time to do it. I think he's enough of a solo artist at this point, especially since 2004. Right. He's had his entire career explode since then.
He's had Future Sex Love Sounds. He's had 2020 Experience.
Yeah. He's a different artist than he was back
then. He's
been
in movies.
He has so many hits he could do. He has so much material. Everybody loves JT. He's good on TV. I think it's a no-brainer. I think Lady Gaga was a good fit last year because it's the exact same thing. Because they've just got these larger-than-life personas that everybody knows who they are. It's just, they need somebody like that to do the Super Bowl, and I think JT is one of our remaining performers who is that big and that uniting.
As of right now, it will just be Mr. Timberlake with no surprise performances and no NSYNC bandmates. But, we're only 4 weeks into this thing.
Yeah.
The NFL.
Now, if they really want to get somebody who, I think represent the league this year, get Kendrick frickin' Lamar.
Right.
But that's not going to happen. I admit that is not going to happen.
Right. So like Tezzy said, this could all change as we get closer to the date. Whether or not Kendrick Lamar does come out and do a song or something.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or plays Jay-Z's part in a...
As long as this is not a long road to a frickin' Taylor Swift Super Bowl.
You know she will eventually do one.
I know she'll eventually do one. Just not off this material.
No.
Ugh.
Also, JT is currently working on his 5th studio album, so expect new material as well.
Yeah, so expect news from him soon.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Alright. And that brings us to our probably most hilarious
I think
piece.
that's, by the way, to be fair, I still think that would actually also be a television story. If I was doing this categorization, that also would have been a television story. Just saying.
Well, then tell me, where you would categorize this story?
I don't know. What is this story?
This is B.O.B.
Oh, yeah, this is not a story. I don't even know where you're talking about this.
So, B.O.B., a.k.a. Bobby Ray, wants to try to be relevant again.
Let's try.
Yes. So, he wants to prove that either his career is not dead, but he's also trying to prove that the Earth is flat.
I mean, this is a man who said, who asked us all to pretend that airplanes in the night sky were shooting stars. So
he's really needing a wish right now.
He really does. Needs some money right now too, apparently.
Yes, as he's launched a GoFundMe campaign to find the Earth's curve and see if our planet is actually round.
Oh my god, does he not?
He plans to launch multiple satellites into space in order to observe and try to disprove centuries of science and technology.
Hasn't he seen footage from satellites before?
He is asking for $200,000, but has only racked up $3,000 so far.
It's unbelievable to me how somebody can live in the year 2017 and not realize the obvious truth.
According to the Flat Earthers Facebook page, there are 100,000 subscribers to it.
There are dozens.
There's literally dozens of them.
Seriously, that's what it sounds like. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah.
It's like no one cares. I mean, does it really matter? Because he's gonna shoot those satellites up, and he's gonna see the same curvature of the Earth that he's seen in every other picture and every other satellite image he's ever seen.
But what happens if you go beyond the curve? You'll find nothing because it's flat.
No, it's just light. That's how light works. You can only see a portion of what's lit.
So you want me to get lit?
Oh, I'm sure he already is. I'm sure he's very lit right now.
And that, yeah.
So frustrating.
All right. Speaking of frustrating, that brings us to our final story.
Okay. This is frustrating?
Yeah.
What, because they're bringing it back, or because they chose Luke Bryan?
Because, well, they're bringing it back and they chose Luke Bryan.
Okay, Luke Bryan will be a judge alongside Katy Perry on the reboot of American Idol for ABC.
Right. This is in coordinates with, like you just said, Katy Perry going back.
Yeah.
This will be on ABC. Ryan Seacrest will be back to host this thing.
Yes.
It's weird that they're announcing this now, as auditions will begin in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
As they start touring around.
I feel like
It's also weird because Luke Bryan is still currently on tour, and I'm seeing him at the end, and literally 1 month from now, I'll be seeing him
I feel
on
like
tour.
Luke Bryan. Well, that's because these judges do not participate this early in the auditions.
Right.
But yeah, I think Luke Bryan is kind of the poor man's Blake Shelton in this case. All in music, but also in television now. Because like this is obviously their try at, well, Blake Shelton works so well on The Voice. Let's get one of those.
Right. So, we have Katy Perry and Luke Bryan.
Right.
ABC has said they will be sticking to a 3-judge format.
We need a third.
Name that third judge.
We need a third. It's actually tougher than you think. I would do... I think we talked about this briefly on this podcast before. Let's do...
Remember, Ellen DeGeneres was once a judge.
Yeah, that's true. It could literally be anybody. I don't know, Shania Twain was pretty good on that episode of Broad City. I'd like to see her do it. Or Sheryl Crow.
Another country? 2 country?
I could see Sheryl Crow do it.
You go 2 country there?
Yeah, why not?
I'd go a little different. I'd go with Jordan Sparks.
Okay. Jordan Sparks have somebody with have a history
An
with the show.
Yes, an American Idol background.
Nicki Minaj.
Winner. She was a judge.
Yeah.
Remember?
Do Nicki Minaj again.
With Mariah Carey, who was also a judge.
Yeah, let's not do Mariah Carey again.
The Cannon.
Yeah, what's Nick Cannon doing?
Is that the new show on NBC?
What's Nick Cannon doing? Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's so many people they could go with. Celine Dion.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, we will. What about Britney Spears? She is ending her contract at Las Vegas.
No, I don't want to see Britney Spears. No, actually, now I think about it, I think you're onto something with Jordan Sparks.
So she'll bring that American Idol backing to her.
That's smart. That's a smart pick.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd like to see Jordan Sparks do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that will premiere sometime next year, it sounds like. The tentative, no release date yet, but it seems like this production schedule would leave it next year sometime.
Right, probably January.
Oh, okay.
Release American Idol usually premieres in January.
That was the tradition, yes, but they don't have to. They can buck that.
Right, this is going on ABC.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be, if you want to keep it as traditional as possible, you'll do it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to check out what they do with that kind of relaunch.
Yep.
Cool.
And with that brings us to our thoughts.
Yes, it does. What did you listen to this weekend?
Oh, no, I didn't listen to that shit.
Oh, you didn't listen? You sound like you wanted to talk about something.
We just had the Foo Fighters album.
Well, we talked about that last week.
Right.
But was new this week, and then I listened to most of. I actually didn't finish it, but I got the idea. I listened to Wonderful Wonderful, the new album by The Killers.
That's what I was going to do this weekend.
Well, okay.
Should I not?
Here's the deal with this album.
Is it not wonderful?
It's a Trojan horse of a Killers album.
Don't fuck me here.
What I mean that this is a Trojan horse, what I mean by that is the first two songs of this thing are very not traditional Killers songs. You get two songs into this thing and you think that they've made a dance pop album. It's insane. There's a song called, and this was one of the singles that they released, called The Man, which is basically Brandon Flowers trying to be a weird disco, dance. I don't know what he's trying to do, but it's just a weird song, and I just immediately hated it. So I had to continue to hate it. It goes on way too long, and I thought, I was like, well, at least they're trying something different. Wrong. The rest of the tracks are the very traditional Killers ballads that we've gotten since a day and age. So if you remember the whiplash you got the first time you heard Human.
Yes.
I know I had whiplash the first time I heard Human. I was like, this song is terrible.
I remember where I was when I first heard Human.
Yeah?
Yeah, on the corner of Main Street.
I'm sure you were. God, that song. I still hate that song. I hated that song the day I heard it, and I still hate that song with a passion. I think it's dumb. I think "Are We Human or Are We Dancer" is one of the worst choruses. It's such a dumb line. Anyways, so the rest of the songs on this album are basically that. They're super sappy ballads that Brandon Flowers whines through. And it's not fun. It's another slog to get through. So there was that brief moment I thought they did something different. And no, they really didn't. So I suppose if you liked Battleborn, their last stab at an album, it's very much in the same vein as that. So gird your loins. The good Killers are not back. It's just old Killers reserved to you. So have fun. And that's it.
Alright, are we done?
Yeah. Nothing else to say about that.
Okay.
Which means we probably should wrap this up.
Yeah, we're coming up on 1:45 here. So let's put up our slate here. And Matt, count us off here.
Alright, so thank you for watching / listening to the Media Boat Podcast. We are back next Wednesday. Every Wednesday night, we record live. If you want to watch us live, we're on YouTube. Just search Media Boat Podcast there.
We're the one with the anchor.
Tune in at 8 p.m. Pacific time for a live stream of this show. We'll be back next week for another one, episode 92. If you want to see an archive of our show, they're also available on our channel on YouTube, so just check that out. If you want to hear the audio version of our podcast, we're on iTunes. Just search Media Boat Podcast on there. If you want to read things that we've written, news stories, features, our thoughts, and more, go to MediaBoatPodcast.com. There we have everything that we've written about all sorts of things that we talk about on the podcast, as well as our home for the podcast and our home for our Twitch streams, if you want to see that. Twitch.tv is where we stream and archive our video game streams. So if you want to tune in on Tuesday, like I mentioned before, for the Sanchez and other future sports-related, video game-related streams, tune in there, twitch.tv/MediaBoat. If you want to help us out with some money, if you want to see more content, or if you want to see even crazier things in this existing content, you can donate to us, both on our site directly or on patreon.com/MediaBoat. There you can donate as little as $1 a month to help us out financially to make this even better than it already is. You can also find us on social media. We're at MediaBoatCast on Twitter. We're on Facebook. Just search MediaBoat Podcast. And we're probably on other things too. But that's mostly what we're on.
You were asking about Alex?
Yeah. I knew she would be hurt. Alright, so that'll do it. We'll be back next week for episode 92 of the MediaBoat Podcast. In the meantime, I have been Matt, and he has been Mike.
I've been Mike, he's been Matt. Don't forget to visit our website, MediaBoatPodcast.com, for all of our stories that we put up if you want to read more of our thoughts.
Yep.
And if you want to see more of our beautiful mugs, be sure to tune in to more episodes right down there or right here on the side of the YouTube page, wherever they're at. Annotations are good for business.
They are. We'll see you next week.
Yep. All right. Yes, for you two guys listening to our podcast via the podcast style, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, YouTube after show. Doctor's been sitting in the dark.
Oh no.
She's been out without power. So
that's unfortunate.
Yep, so she was not listening to us. Therefore, we have nothing to...
So, yeah.
No comments.
So, bye. We'll see you next week.
Yep, we'll see you guys next week. All right, bye.